Hey friends, how's it going? So today is July I think it's the 25th, or it was, it's about 12:15 a.m. right now, and I am just getting out of the office from my instructor job, and it's really interesting because not really supposed to be here this late, but they didn't kick me out. I was working on a presentation for our third semester practical nursing students because, and I'm so glad they didn't kick me out, but we're supposed to be gone at 10. But I came in today at like 1:45 p.m. to assist with a med-surg lab. And the person who normally runs that lab was sick, and so there's actually two instructors, and then I was in the class, but now I have my own class that is keeping me super busy, and I'm having to learn how to teach how to teach. I don't know how. I don't have a master's of education, and I'm not really taught very often, or ever a lecturer, or been in charge of a whole class or anything like that. And so my class has, I'm part-time, and that's up to 25 hours, but my class has kept me so busy just, trying to figure out what they need to learn. And they, I took over the class at week 3. And so, the beginning of week 2, but somebody else taught the class week 2. And then I started teaching week 3, and it's just been really challenging. And so I asked what the plan was supposed to be for the specific lab that I was going to help in, and I asked a few times and I didn't hear back, and so I couldn't focus on it. I really had to just focus on me and my students. And so with there being 2 instructors in that class, I didn't prepare really at all, because I just couldn't. I mentally just couldn't prepare for another class. I was prepared to go and just assist is what I was prepared to do. So, having said that, the lead instructor was sick, and her co-instructor didn't, I guess, realize that she was sick and not going to be there. And so I saw that what the topic was. I could see that module, so I kind of knew what the idea was going to be, that we were going to be covering that material on trach care, like tracheostomies and tracheostomy to tracheal suctioning. Anyway, but I expected there to be somebody leading the class, right? And to not really have to be super responsible for a whole lot. Not that I shouldn't have been super prepared anyway as a helper. I realized that I should have been, but at the same time, it's just I'm taking on a whole course of students that I didn't originally have when they put me in this lab, and I don't have time to do the practice and the studying, really, or I haven't yet, while I'm trying to figure out what my class is supposed to be doing in the welfare of my class, making sure they don't fall behind, and that they understand, and that they're getting the proper education that they're supposed to get, despite the fact that I'm their third instructor. So anyway, I was really focused on my students and not so much this lab. And I did ask several times, what's the plan? I didn't hear anything. And so I just came in, because that's all I could do mentally. And I got to class, and then, there was no plan. And so, my A-type personality, I don't know if I'm an A-type, but my inner leader, I guess, just took over and decided that we were going to follow the little Like there was a tiny plan in place, like for like a concept, but there was no plan for like the actual lecture lab, whatever. And usually it's supposed to be like usually she likes to do like a case study and then introduce concepts through the case study and stuff like that. But there was no case study. And so, so I had to just ask if we had the supplies, right, to do tracheostomy care. And that's in a locked cabinet, so I'd figure that out. And then the students didn't have access to the module that they were for that week, and I don't know why they didn't ask, like, hey guy, like, hey teach, we don't have access to this module in our skills lab. Is there something we're supposed to do before class? They didn't do that. So nobody was prepared, nobody. So I found the key. I got the key from the person who had the key. I found, the person who had the key told me where I could find the trait kits. I found on the fly like a validation list or a validation for tracheostomy care that the students can, like, they're supposed to have validations in lab. Like my students, I'm teaching a med administration class, and they have 4 validations that they're responsible for. So they're responsible for, that they get graded on. So that's like an activity or like a skill. So my students get graded on, because they're first year practical nursing students, and they get graded on proficiency at safely administering PO medications, IM, sub-Q, and ID medications. And so, they have very specific checkoffs that are like, you have critical fail points, and they don't get to administer meds until they pass those checkoffs. So it's kind of a big deal. And it's kind of a big deal. And so so this class is like PN3 class. I didn't know what they were getting validated on, but I didn't see a validation sheet, but I figured that since the topic was tracheostomy care and it's a skills lab, that probably they were going to have a validation on that. And so I decided to start searching all of the shared drives for any kind of validation for tracheostomy care. And I found one. So I got that printed off really fast, and then, ran back into the lab, and then I went and got all the supplies, and Kat and I like grabbed the mannequin. And then, I haven't done trach suctioning since I was like in the ICU more than 5 years ago. I haven't even thought about it. And so I just grabbed the validation. I was like, okay guys, everybody gets a trach kit. Everybody gets, some suctioning. And I just was like, I'm just going to go through the skills checkoff sheet exactly. And I'm going to fumble through it, and we're just going to walk through it. Right. And I did. And it was kind of embarrassing, but, I did the best I could this week, and I led the lab. So we did carry out like the, what the lab was supposed to be about, I think. I mean, I know it was clearly supposed to be about respiratory because we're trying to align all of the body systems, but, they didn't get like a proper like introduction to trachs and airway management because they don't study that yet. Like right now they're studying something else. And so I would have liked to have given them that in lab, but then they started talking about something else. And since I'm not even the like secondary instructor for this class. And so I just kind of took a back seat there, but then I was like, you know what, we got to do this. And then I just kind of kicked it into overdrive. And then I got done, and I just felt like we let the students down, right? Because like they're nursing students, and this is a hard skill. And, and at first I was like, well, maybe we should have taught them like a different skill, like Foley catheters, because that's what they are studying right now like they're studying the genitourinary system. And so we're kind of like, but that was the plan, was like the dean wants to align all the systems with whatever they're learning about but I just think that like it's supposed to be respiratory this week, but I don't know if it's supposed to be respiratory across all the like all the programs, or I mean, it was already loaded in their system and lined up for respiratory. So we just carried through with it. I think I'm just embarrassed that I didn't remember how to do the skill exactly, and like I hadn't practiced it. Because I didn't realize I was going to have to teach it. I thought that there would be someone there. Like, I'm the third person down the line. Anyway, it ended up being like a good situation though, because like it just really makes me realize how much the students, you know, they rely on competent mentors, right? And I should be a competent mentor. Like, I should have already gone through that skill. And next week I will, like, I'm still going to, like, I haven't had a day off in like 2 weeks, and I'm just like trying to, you know, it's just like trial by fire. I'm so blessed and feel so grateful for the opportunity, but man, it's a lot of work because I'm developing kind of developing content as I go, and like I have to learn it all before I can teach it. And I'm already like 3 weeks behind in my class because I got the class late. And, it was a different instructor leading it the first week, and then the dean led it the second week. And so the third week, I'm like, find all these papers, all of these like shared content. And I'm like, oh my God, they should have been doing this. We should have been going through this PowerPoint, and we should have been doing this and this and this and this. And so now I'm just like playing catch up, you know, and I just feel like I've failed the students. And then to get into this like PN3 course that I am not even technically the instructor for, and to like end up running that lab and like fumbling through the skill they're supposed to be learning, it was embarrassing. I mean, but they were, you know, most of them were gracious, and I just decided afterwards, I was like, you know what, like these kids, like not kids, but these students, like they deserve better. I mean, I know they deserve better. And so I just like decided to outline the chapter and then go through and do a video presentation of a lecture for them. And so I did. And so I did. I like just went through and I was like highlighting, and then I pulled up the ebook. I walked them. I created like a bunch of stuff in their modules. I updated their reading. And so, yeah, I basically just like took over that whole class. But I'm not sorry about it either, because now they have a lecture that they can refer back to anytime they want to. And it's not terrible. Like, I'm not a lecturer. All I did was like go through the chapter, and I was like, had highlighted it all beforehand. And so then as I was going back through it again, I was just talking about each thing. And I learned a lot, obviously, because I have been through the chapter twice now in one day. Been through, you know, it's a lot too, man. Trait care is a lot, because you have to think about the nursing process from like, from all kinds of different angles. I mean, well, the nursing process, like it's like I went through assessment and planning, and then, you know, like the implementation and the evaluation of like these skills, and each step has like a rationale. And so I was like going through that and trying to teach them about that and like how to think about it. And it's gonna be really neat. I listened to just like, I thought I recorded it because I used this feature in Canvas, which is our learning management software. And I thought I used it because it's in our learning management software, right? But then when I finished the recording, because I recorded my screen the whole time, when I finished the recording and tried to go back to it, like I thought it was gone. Oh my God, literally that lecture is like 90 minutes long, and I'm so tired, and I still have to do like an exam review, a recorded exam review that I promised for my students next week, on top of like I have to learn the validations, because I was going to post a video of me doing the validation exactly how I want to see it in in their validation. Like I can't expect them to get 100 on it if I can't even get 100 on it, you know what I'm saying? So I, want to record that. And now I've taken on the responsibility, I guess, of learning this skill for the PN3 class and providing them with a proper video of the validation, which I think I found the right validation. I mean, I found 2 of them, and I gave the students the one that I thought it would be, but then I found another one that also looked kind of good, but it just didn't have the Carrington like logo and stuff on it. And so I kind of just had to tell the students like, okay, well, Dr. So-and-so, like your primary instructor is going to have to give you the decision on which validation is going to be the one that you're going to be graded on. So anyway, I'm tired. I'm so tired, and I have so much more to do this weekend, and I'm supposed to be a vendor at this event on Saturday in Nampa called Positively Creative Crafts, and I have all this stuff for my Bossy Cat business that is tailored towards the theme of that event, which is animals and like rescue animals. And so I have lots of like kitty and puppy stuff that I want to sell, and I haven't had time to price it. I don't have time to do anything. I'm just ready for this next week to get over. Like, I just need this next week to get over and to not be like obligated to anything outside of my nursing job and my instructing job, my college instructing job. So, because I still just have so much to do, and I need to kayak every now and then. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to remember this moment because that's my first video lecture ever, and I designed the whole module for them. And hopefully the lead instructor is like happy with it. I think she will be. I think she'll be supportive. But I definitely think that is a concept that needs to be revisited when they're doing their actual respiratory, like, whatever they do in the PN3 class. Like, I just don't even know what the structure is really of their like cohort. It's, something that I really would like to know. And I guess like, I'm just going to have to figure it out. So anyway, I wanted to remember this moment. I'm proud of myself. And I'm like embarrassed. I'm humiliated that I didn't get that skill like right off the bat. And like, it was confusing because there's like a dominant hand and like a non-dominant hand. And I'm just thinking like, I'm going to wear sterile gloves like the whole time. And yeah. And there were some parts where I was like, oh, and you do this. And then I'm like, oh, and somebody questioned me and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me actually get back to you because I might be telling you wrong. So I got to clarify some of those questions in the lecture. And so hopefully that makes up for the fact that like I didn't 100% know because I hadn't really looked at it. So yeah, next time's gonna be better, but I'm still proud of this time. Humiliated, proud, all the same. At least, yeah, the students have like a lecture. I have a lecture. I can listen to it myself. Like, I listen to lectures all through nursing school. Like, actually, I wanted to see if I could find any of mine because I recorded them all. And now I am going to go home. I've been here since 1. I've been here like 11 hours today. Almost 11, no, 10 hours. And I got to come back tomorrow and do more. So thanks for paying attention. Or not paying attention. Like, thanks for being my friend. And Mariah, you did a good job today. You did a good job. And next week will be even better. So, all right. I hope everybody else is doing good things too. Just remember, you don't always get it right the first time. And that's okay. That is okay. Because that means that there's room for improvement. All right. Bye. See ya.